Have you ever wondered how you can access premium, comprehensive property data in Volusia County without spending a single dime on those super expensive commercial subscriptions? Seriously, if you're a real estate professional, an investor, or just a curious resident, you know that having accurate property information is literally absolute gold. But what if I told you that the keys to the kingdom are already yours, just hiding in plain sight? Stick around because we're going to unlock the insider secrets to completely effortless, cost-free online property searches.
Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking a highly technical procedural guide and transforming it into your own personal step-by-step playbook. We are going to completely bypass the paywalls of those commercial databases and dive deep into how you can use Volusia County's official online platforms to extract everything. And I mean everything, from ownership histories and tax assessments right down to interactive environmental maps. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. First, 1. Overview of property records. Then, 2. Using VCPA search portals. Followed by 3. Clerk of Court registries. After that, we'll hit 4. Enterprise GIS mapping tools. 5. Replicating premium subscriptions, and we'll wrap it all up with 6 disclaimers and pro tips. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, Overview of Property Records. Before we just start clicking around randomly, we really need to understand the foundation of why all this data exists and who actually manages it. You see, the insider secret behind all this free data is Chapter 119 of the Florida Statutes. This is basically Florida's Sunshine Law, and it mandates that state and municipal entities provide open, public access to land and administrative records. This statutory obligation is exactly why incredibly valuable real estate data, stuff that private companies will gladly charge you an arm and a leg for, is legally required to be free and accessible to you. So the crucial trick here is just knowing exactly where to look, because the data is actually divided between 2 distinct constitutional offices. On one side, we have the Volusia County Property Appraiser, or VCPA for short. Their whole job is to identify and value real and tangible property to generate the annual tax roll, and they actually update their database weekly. On the other side is the Clerk of the Circuit Court, who acts as the official legal repository. So, rule of thumb, if you want tax values, you go to the VCPA. If you want deeds, mortgages, and court cases, you go to the clerk. Integrating both of these is the ultimate secret to thorough, risk-free real estate analysis. Moving right along, let's jump into Section 2, using VCPA search portals. Let's get our hands dirty and start our navigation with the Property Appraiser's website. They actually offer 3 distinct tiers of search depending on how deep you really want to go. First up is the Real Property Quick Search. This is your absolute go-to when you already have specific identifying information. You just pop in the owner's name, make sure you format it as last name, first name, by the way, a site address, an alternate key, or a parcel ID. When your results pop up, you can use their built-in selection manager to isolate the exact parcels you want. And get this, right from that screen, you can export your matching results directly to Excel, generate standard mailing lists, or even download a copy of the property's proposed tax notice, which is known as a trim notice. Now, if you're doing broader market research, you'll definitely want to use the classic search. This interface relies on standardized drop-down menus to filter records systematically. So instead of typing and just crossing your fingers hoping you didn't misspell a street name, you select from predetermined parameters. You can filter by compass directions, exact street suffixes like boulevard or circle, and specific cities across Volusia County, all the way from DeLand and Daytona Beach down to Austin and Edgewater. It just keeps your search incredibly clean and highly accurate. Let's step it up to the advanced search and see how this builds into real professional-level analytics. This tool features 5 functional tabs that let you filter by specific numeric ranges, like construction year or sales price. But the real magic? That happens when you use millage groups and property class codes. Millage groups define the tax assessment boundaries. For example, if you only want to look at properties inside Daytona city limits, you just filter by code 012. Daytona Beach is 204. Unincorporated West Side is 100. Combine that with a property class code, and you can instantly pull up, say, every single vacant commercial lot in Daytona Beach that's sold in the last 5 years. It's a total game changer. Which brings us to Section 3, Clerk of Court registries. Remember earlier when we talked about the difference between the 2 offices? Well, while VCPA property cards are fantastic, they do not establish legal ownership. For that, we need the Clerk of Court. The
The clerk provides a totally free, mobile-friendly document inquiry portal, and if you look at the temporal availability of these records, it is honestly super impressive. You can pull up digitized official records. We're talking deeds, mortgages, easements, dating all the way back to April 4, 1988. They even have non-criminal traffic citation records stretching back to January 1, 1990. Beyond just basic land transfers, the clerk's specialized public registries are an absolute goldmine for uncovering active title encumbrances. For example, using the case inquiry portal, you can search civil, probate, and family dockets. In a real-world application, a real estate investor might use this to spot an active foreclosure or maybe a nasty civil judgment that could completely cloud a property's title way before they ever make an offer. You can also view weekly foreclosure sale reports, check tax deed surplus listings, and even monitor daily arrest and booking reports.
All right, let's look at Section 4, Enterprise GIS Mapping Tools. Now we get to the really fun part, the spatial analysis. Because let's be real, sometimes raw tax rolls just don't tell the whole story without a little visual context. Volusia County offers a centralized Enterprise GeoHub kiosk map, and it is stunning in its depth. You can overlay property boundaries with a massive array of critical data. Need to assess site feasibility? Just toggle on the environmental hazard layers to see FEMA flood zones for insurance underwriting. Turn on wildlife overlays to see bald eagle nest buffers or gopher tortoise protection areas that might severely restrict your permitting. You can even view jurisdictional wetlands and exact municipal zoning boundaries. It's an incredibly powerful way to visualize the reality of a piece of land before you ever step foot on it.
Next up, Section 5, Replicating Premium Subscriptions. So, you're probably wondering, how does all this actually replace paid tools? Let's connect the dots here. Commercial real estate databases, like TaxNet USA, offer premium subscriptions that package Volusia County appraisal data, interactive GIS mapping, and downloadable property sketches. Basically, they're marketing convenience, but literally everything locked behind those premium paywalls can be replicated for free. The VCPA gives you the exact same appraisal data and structural sketches. The county's GeoHub gives you the interactive GIS mapping. By strategically using these public portals side by side, you're getting the exact same professional-grade due diligence without dropping a dime on a monthly subscription fee.
Now, just to be fully transparent with you all, there is one scenario where you might actually have to open your wallet. While all individual searches and standard database downloads are totally free, if you require highly customized bulk data programming directly from the VCPA GIS department, say you need a custom scripted spatial analysis, they do charge a minimum administrative fee of $40 per hour. But honestly, for about 99% of users, the free web portals are more than enough. Finally, that brings us to Section 6, Disclaimers and Pro Tips. To wrap things up today, we just need to cover a few quick legal realities and some essential troubleshooting. First, a vital disclaimer directly from the Volusia County Property Appraiser. They state very clearly that their information is not a substitute for speaking with an attorney, a title company, or a registered surveyor. This is just an impartial reality check. VCPA records are generated strictly for tax purposes. Their maps do not represent a professional land survey, and the data definitely does not constitute official legal or real estate advice. Always, always consult a professional when you're making significant financial decisions. And finally, here are your technical pro tips to help you avoid the most common roadblocks. If the VCPA maps or export menus aren't loading for you, just verify that JavaScript is enabled in your web browser. The site's dynamic tables heavily rely on it. Second, you absolutely must click the Agree Liability Disclaimer button before the VCPA search will even function. And lastly, when you're viewing official recorded deeds on the clerk's site, ensure you have a standard PDF viewer installed so the document images render properly. So, armed with this complete guide to Volusia County's free official data portals, you now have the exact same tools that the pros use. From finding tax values to uncovering title clouds and exploring environmental maps, the power is entirely in your hands. So, I'll leave you with this. Which Volusia County property are you going to search for first using these free premium tools? Get out there, start exploring, and we'll see you in the next explainer.